Sign up now at elevate.miami.edu for my course, Organized Rhyme.
Looking at the word legacy, while involving some wordplay, I'll use the first syllable to build upon. We'll use the first syllable, leg. For the second syllable, we'll use an. And for the third syllable, we'll use the word knee. So now we have leg and knee. Can we use it in context with legacy? Let's just see.
Wordsworth Productions with a S.com for all merch. I got 2 books available right now. Well, Words Are Worth Volume 1, and I also have a children's book called Socks. Age range from 12 to 15, so it's kind of like the middle school and high school age range, but adults can read it as well. What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of What Words Are Worth. And today I got an artist that I have become a huge fan of. Seeing the verses go viral got me searching for other verses. I found another verse this morning that, just sitting on the couch rapping. I'm looking for everything that I could find to listen to this artist. I went searching on, my iTunes and everything. So I got to listen to the Rap Obeah. I got to listen to Dirty Ears. I got to go back and listen to some other music. This artist is so dope that makes me want to write, but also think about the new ways of putting words together. What makes this artist so dope, what makes her so dope is that she's original. I don't hear nobody's style like her style. The way she puts the words together, phenomenal. And every time she rhymes, it's worth going viral. That's the least to say. Welcome to the show, Aida.
There we go. I was gonna ask if you knew how to pronounce my name. I was gonna wait till you were recording so I could embarrass you on your show. But yes. You are.
Nah, I did a lot of research, and this show is all about writing. And the reason I wanted to have you on there, because me hearing you spit the bars that I've seen you spit, man, I never heard nobody write like you. So this show is all about your process and the words you choose, the style you have. Your bio talked about like truth and, experiences and having humor, and I can hear it all in one. So I want to talk about just everything how you've evolved as well. I went back and I was able to hear like your older stuff from like 9 years ago, and then seeing where you are now. And what I was intrigued about and what I felt was so dope was the fact that I can see the evolution, and you've gotten better and better, and you just keep getting better every verse. So let's delve into what it was like to you're going viral with the Punchline Academy freestyles. Shout out to the infamous Amadeus.
Yeah. Peace to Amadeus, peace to Punchline Academy, peace to Mrs. Get At 'em. You know what? I'm not gonna hold you. That was like one of those things. Everything that you're seeing now, like that's like transpiring, and everything that you're gonna see in the forthcoming years are like have been things that I've planted seeds like eons ago, right? And if you know anything about gardening, right, nothing happens overnight. You got to tend to the things as you're able to, and then everything has seasons, right? So you're not going to be able to tend to your garden every single season anyway. You got to be strategic with it. So I'm a visionary. I got like a lot. Like rap is just one. It's just one pot I have my hand in. I'm here for a lot of money. That's it. But I'm a writing just woman. I'm gonna get to the point, but just so you know, I'm gonna preface it with this: like, I'm not a surface-based individual. I'm a thinker, so I like to kind of draw all the different points so people understand where like the final thought process of everything. But with that being said, so with the music, even like you said, with the evolution from before to now, I'm very I'm an artist, right? So it's about how I feel. A lot of my stuff really is socially political because I'm, fuck the government, fuck the establishment. I've always been on that type of time, and music has always been my outlet for that. But I'm from New York. We rap. I come from a time where you got to rap. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, you got bars. Let me hear you like right now on the spot. And so like I come from that cloth, and I think over time I've just been able to kind of take those different factors. Like basically I could package my dope great, right? That's really what it is. Like I have the wisdom, but I know how to package it. So if you like a street element, or if you like this, like I'm able to appeal to all audiences. I'm a real push. I know how to sell my product to everybody. So with that being said, with the punchline thing, it was kind of dope how it fell into my lap because you know, Amadeus was doing his thing for a minute. I seen a lot of my homies on his show, but I'm not one of those. One, I don't pay to play. I don't pay to rap on anybody's platforms. I don't pay to have my music played on anywhere. I don't like, if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you don't, I mean, that's your laws, right? I can't get upset about that, but I'm not paying you to share my gift. But I had a couple of homies. Shout out to Those Are the Drum Dealer and D Goins. They were actually plugged in with Inf, and we were doing a show in Brooklyn a couple years back, and they introduced me to him. And even then, it was just kind of like, you know, I wasn't like, showed respect for his show, but that was it. I didn't even like, I wasn't trying to like get on, I wasn't trying to use people to get on his show, but I guess he was looking for women at one point. And so my homie plugged me. He was like, yo, you got to tap in with Shorty. And then from there, that was it. The first time I met Inf, like, you know, we chopped it up. Yeah, he's a real salute to him. He's a good man. He's a safe space for women. If you're a woman, he's not going to try anything stupid. Yeah. And that was it. It was the basement joint. And shout out to Focus the Truth. He was actually on the cipher that I was in. The very first one was a basement cipher with Vinny Idol. And then that one actually went viral. And then from there, he called me up. I was on Shade 45 with Unique Waters from Harlem. She's she's a super dope young woman. Knowledge Herself too. Check her out. And that went viral. And then, you know, we kind of did numbers. So it was one of those things. Yeah. And then, last summer, he started this, the lyric series, Lees, where he was just going to different hoods around New York kind of thing. So I was on the first one he did. It was like a test run. So we did it uptown in Dykeman. And then that one kind of just, you know, that one took off. So I think that's the one everybody was plugged into. I'm not going to hold you. Let me not say I'm not an internet person. I utilize the internet. Like I said, I have a product I push. I got brands I'm pushing. I get it. But I'm an elderly woman at this point in my life. You know what I mean? If I was in like my early 20s, I would be doing all of this shit. So it's crazy to see. But it's beautiful because the love I'm getting now, like just off it, I'm like, yo, I got like catalogs full of stuff. But I think for whatever reason, I know how the universe works, right? Like everything is like, it's as they say, there's no such thing as luck, right? Success is preparation meets opportunity, right? And I used to box. So one thing about boxing that's always been disciplined within me is stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So like even when I wasn't fighting, I was always in the gym, staying sharp, sparring, doing everything. So if my coach is like, oh, we got you a fight, or like there's a competition, let's just join whatever the case may be. It's like, all right, cool. Like I'm ready. And it's not going to take me a few months or whatever the case may be. Like I'm good to go right now. So with rap, I'm the same way, but it's also because I come from that cloth. Like at any given moment, somebody like, oh, you rap? Let me hear you rap right now. Right. And so depending on the audience too, like I pay attention to my audience, because like if it's older people that want to hear like substance, like cool, I'm gonna give you some knowledge shit. If it's people that want, you know, I sold drugs for a lot of my life. If you want to hear that hustle talk, I'm talking that trap shit. You know, so I kind of know how to like walk that thin line of, you know, appealing to different audiences. But yeah, that's really what it was with the Punchline joint. I'm not gonna hold you. Like even now, like I keep getting tagged in so many remixes of that, and I'm like it's so second nature to me how I write and in my process. But I guess it's the universe showing me like, yo, like people really resonating with what you're saying. So, and it's not limited to just like New York. I'm talking like people in like other fucking countries. I'm like, oh wow, like and I'm not gonna hold you, baby. Also, too, and I gotta preface it with this. I was like, I don't like, this is wide open. I don't fall for any of this stuff. So like during the pandemic, I was very, very vocal. And I lost, like a lot of people stopped fucking with me. And I always rap too. And it was so crazy. I was like, damn, like you mad because I'm not falling for the okie doke. Fast forward, like I'm right and just, and everything is falling into place now. And now the same people that felt a fucking way because I was speaking on my truth, now you got to watch Allah bless me right in front of you, because now you seeing progression, and I'm gonna still continue to talk truth. I make sure I put in a little truth rants every now and then on my post, so people know you can unfollow me. I'm not offended. You can still buy my product. You can still listen to my music, but you don't have to like me as a person. Very passionate about that. So I make sure anytime I get the opportunity to talk, when people want to hear me rap, yeah, I rap, I get busy, but I'm a real fucking woman and I'm here to shed wisdom. Anyway, pardon me, baby.
Nah. So the dope thing about it too, watching when you rapping and you on there and the videos go viral, the thing that I noticed also is the passion when you're saying a rhyme. Like you have that essence. You have the essence of you can't mess with me. You can't mess with me.
Because that's I tell people all the time, I don't write my raps. I'm just the vessel for what the other side wants to get across, right? If you understand energy, you understand how this world works. The unseen realm governs the realm that we see, this 3D world. I'm very tapped in. I'm in tune. I'm devoted to my craft in every sense of the word. If we talk in spirituality or if we talk in rap, because rap is also a craft. Now we dealing with words, we dealing with spell casting and all of that. I know exactly how to line up my, same thing with boxing, right? You got to know how to set up your punches. And if you study the sweet science, like I was a student of boxing. I ain't just like get in the ring and like fight. Like I'm talking about outside the ring. I'm watching fights all day long, all night long. I'm going to sleep, like watching things, studying, and then I'm going in the gym and I'm trying to practice and see what works, what doesn't work. And then, over time, experience, right? Experience is the best teacher. And then you learn how to set certain things up. You also learn how to read when somebody else is going to set up, right? So even with rap, like I already know, I'm not going to, I know how people are going to, I'm like, oh, yeah, he going to rap like, oh, he going to do this. He going to do this. So even if somebody outbars me, because there's people with way better punchlines, right? Like you're going to have like, especially if you like battle rap, right? Like their punchlines are fucking insane. I'm not going to sit here and compare myself to a battle rapper. You might have somebody like a Papoose that's like so fucking smart. They're overly lyrical. I'm not going to sit here and try to compete with a Papoose, with the lyricism, but I know I could do that. I know I could do that. And I know I'm funny, right? So I'm going to just make sure that I basically put myself in this stuff. So I stand out no matter whatever anybody else has come with. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I had the best verse. I'm going to have the most memorable verse. Excuse me. You're always going to remember what I had to say because I'm going to look at you like your fucking mother's talking to you because I'm that's how I feel too. When I'm rapping, I'm correcting you. I kid you not. I use rap to rant because a lot of people might not want to have a real conversation with me because they don't want to hear the truth, and that's fine. They're not obligated to. I don't impose it. But for whatever reason, when I start rapping, the same person will be like, oh, that was fun. Yeah. But I understand it's the power of rhythm and spellcasting and how you put your words together and all of that. And it's like when I start rapping, you're not seeing me as a person anymore. It's the rap that you're paying attention to. But now I'm paying attention to your spirit. I want to talk to your fucking soul. I'm not here to talk to, I don't care about like I got that shit when I was a kid. When I was young, I was always dope. You know what I mean? Like I was, she got bars. So like, that's nothing to me. I'm here to utilize my bars for a purpose. I'm also an older woman. So I just turned 40. I'm not, I don't hide that shit. I'm proud of my age.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. 1985. So I can't be I can't behave now the way I would behave at 23, 24. Right. So obviously if I was 23, 24 right now and stuff was going viral, I would have been way too much in my ego. I was not the same person. And, I don't know the path that I would have been walking back then. Cause I also know like when I was rapping back then, I came up under like that stack bundles kind of era. So like everything was like some real trap shit. And it was dope, but it's also not the message that I'm looking to necessarily put forward as I grow as, I'm growing as a woman. Even as an adult, like there's a lot of men I love listening to rap. And then when I got older, I was like, oh no, you hate women. Like oh God, you have a problem with, I'm cool on that. You still dope. Like your music is dope, but I don't want to listen to that because it just doesn't honor like who I am, my energy. So, I understand my purpose. So, and it's dope too, because even when I rap, like people, young teens, and people in their 20s, people in their 30s, and then obviously people in their 50s and 60s, they fuck with my shit. I'm like, all right, cool. So I could appeal to different generations.
So I wanted to ask you about that. Like, so what's the origin of your name and the area? Because as I was doing the research and I'm listening, trying to find music and find videos and everything, I'm getting multiple things. I got the Alligator Fred, then I have the Alligator Aida. Then I'm trying to find you. Then it's like Aida by itself is where the albums are and the songs and the current stuff. So I was trying to find it. So like, how did you, I guess, what's the name that you want everybody to say?
Aida. I've always went by Aida. I've always went by my name. The alligator thing, and this is the beauty of social media and marketing and all of that stuff too. And I tell the story all the time. But the alligator Alfred, I made this Instagram, I want to say like 2015 or 2016 or something like that. Pardon me. Mm-hmm. I was trying to hide from an ex. And I was like, I had Instagram before. I think I was like Floyd Mayweather or some shit. And then I was trying to get back on Instagram, but I was like, damn, I don't want this person to find me. I need a name that like no one, is going to think of, right? So alligators are my favorite animals. And then Alfred kind of just rolled off the tongue. So I was like, okay, alligator Alfred. And it's a man's name, right? So like, you're not going to put two and two together. This man still found me, so I got to give him credit. Like he is top-notch CIA. Like he's on that type of time. So, all the respect to him with that. But when I would be in the gym, like people in the gym just offer jokes would be like, yo, what's up, alligator? Just to make fun of my Instagram name, right? So then like, can't like a little fun nickname. And then my homies that rap, same thing. My boys would be like, yo, what's up, Gator? Just like joking. So then I think one time I might have put like alligator in like a rhyme, just like joking. And then it kind of took on a life of its own, so to speak. Because they be like, yo, you kind of snap like an alligator when you rap. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could see that. But then, it kind of took on a life of its own and people just kept calling me Gator or alligator. And so, you know, hold on, baby. I'm not gonna hold you. I know you giving me an opportunity, but I also have to shamelessly plug all my shit. That's just how I
Oh,
move. So, you know, so then I
yeah.
wrote a book, Ask the Alligator, and then I have my little cannabis topical Gator Salve. So I utilize it created a life of its own, and I just capitalize off of that. So
So
my
then, what
business
about
acumen is top tier.
what's the area you came from? Far
I'm from
Rockaway.
Queens. I'm from Queens. Yeah, I'm in Queens. I'm in Queens. So right now I'm in Jamaica. So, but I'm always all over New York. Like I talk a lot of shit about Brooklyn, but I'm always in Brooklyn for like shows or ciphers. I got homies that, you know, a lot of my homies that rap, they get busy. They from Brooklyn. So, but I'm a New York gem. Fuck that.
So what's your what would you define? How would you define your writing style? I heard you kind of elaborate on it a little bit earlier. Like what would you say is your writing style? If somebody had to kind of not put you in a box, but kind of mention you to somebody else, what do you think somebody would say your style is? Because I have my thought about your writing style, but I'm gonna let you speak first.
I mean, if we're just going by adjectives, I definitely like raw for sure. You know, I think I like to use, I'm very vulgar when I talk. I use words, like I know words, right? Like I study words, I study etymology and all of that. And I also understand shock value. I know how to get attention. Cause like even I'm gonna give you, it's not really a tip, but I have when I'm writing, right? Like I always make sure like my first bar, I don't give a fuck what, it doesn't matter what song, what kind of, like I'm saying something that I know is gonna catch your attention off the opening, right? Like I'm right, and then you're like, wait, what? Whether it's like outlandish or it's, oh, that's interesting, I never heard that.
Right.
Then I line that up, and then like I really set the shit up like boxing. I'm not gonna hold you. I line everything up precisely, but it's so second nature to me because I don't know if you rap, but like, or if you at least if you a student of rap, like you understand like certain fundamentals, right? Just like
Yeah.
bar leading into the next bar kind of thing, and then like, but when you paying attention to somebody that really has a pen, they're able to do like the something that's on the surface, but then if you really paying attention, it's like the subtle context of what they're saying. It's like, oh, okay, but this lines up with that and that and that, and then like, so I do stuff like that. But I like to make sure that there's elements of truth in my raps. So no matter what it is I'm talking about, I have to make sure, like I have to package my dope. That's really how I rap. I'm not gonna that's like the best way for me to describe it. It's like I'm selling you dope, but it's wisdom, right? So like I know how to, okay, cool, I'm gonna catch him with this, and then and I also make sure like you hear like I have fundamentals. So like if you were like, oh well, she doesn't know, no, cool, I got lyricism, I know how to do this, whatever you think is the culture, right? Because there's a lot of people, they're like the harshest critics in the fucking world. They never picked up a pen ever, but they like, well, you can't do that. Yeah, I could do all of that. I make sure that like no matter who you are, you hear that, oh no, I have my fundamentals. It's like boxing now, right? If I'm in the ring and I want to be flashy now, my hands are down and I'm sticking my tongue out, right? Because I'm giving you a show. Somebody that's like, well, you got to keep your hands on your feet because now you being killed, right? So I could do that too. Cool, right? Because it's people that they just want to, well, they too flashy. Do they have the fundamentals? I have the fundamentals too. Whatever you like, I study this shit, but I study it so much that I could have fun with it. I hope that makes sense. Pardon me, I'm a little all over the place.
Nah, it's all good. I think to me, your style I would agree it's raw. I like it's intense. It also sounds like you have like some some Caribbean.
Oh yeah.
So I can kind of like some like Caribbean.
I throw in like little small patois things in there, or even like certain like idioms I throw in. Just I'm from New York too, so even if you're not necessarily from the Caribbean, if you grew up in New York, like you still know what the fuck I'm talking about. So.
Yeah, and then it's melodic. So like on some of the songs out here, you get into that kind of like singing bag, and then some. So one of the songs I heard you singing, I was like, oh, I didn't even know she had that in a bag with it. So it's very like vulnerable. It's dope though. It's real dope.
Thank you. Now I love that you touching. I'm not gonna hold you. So like people in my family, like my mom sings, like she's like trained in the choir. So like like how my mother's black, right? You know how old school black people are, right? Like they don't respect singers unless like if you didn't have that choir training, they don't, right? But I understand that's like part of their foundation, right? It's like acting. A lot of like the high caliber actors, they did theater. So they don't necessarily respect actors that didn't start out in theater because I guess they don't have that fundamental training. So with that being said, like I always paid attention to, so like in calypso and soca, they use like the steel pan and all of that shit. Yeah. So with the tone, I've always naturally picked up on tone. So I'm not, I do that. I don't play drums, but I've always made up songs, like not just rap. Like I'm very I'm a songbird. I can't sing for my life, but I'm very creative in that aspect because I hear the tone. I'm just fortunate that I'm able to replicate that when I'm rapping, kind of like I'm able to play with that. So even when I rap, I change my cadences I kind of make my own beat. So even if I didn't have a beat behind me, you're gonna get like some kind of it's melody behind it. Because I understand music. Music is, I understand, it came from Lucifer and all of that good stuff, but it really is healing. Especially when you use it correctly. But obviously when you use it incorrectly, it does a lot of damage, as we can see, right? Music in hip hop is the most powerful genre. That's why it had to be hijacked and once again, I don't knock it. Listen, if you're making your money, you feeding your family, if I can't give you a job, I can't tell you how to make your money. As long as you are not trafficking people, as long as you're not a pedophile, a rapist, hurting, as long as you're not doing that, I really can't comment on how you make your money, right? Even if my personal opinion might be like, damn, like you kind of, but I'm not going to, I'm like, all right, cool. That's your life. That's your karma and your dharma to deal with. It's not mine. I just know how I show up. Right.
Yeah.
So whether you like me or not, when it comes to rap, like I preserve the culture because I understand fuck everything else, right? This was about teaching. It was about giving a voice to the people that didn't have a voice to actually speak. Yes, when rap started, there was party music. We're not going to negate that because that's also part of community building, right? We want to have fun. Even if you in a fucked up circumstance, that don't mean that you shouldn't enjoy your life. Like I come from poverty and struggle and all of that. I was always making music. I always say this, the best music comes from poor people. It comes from people in the struggle because you able now to relate to people on an emotional level, right? It's not just an intellectual level. I can respect intellect. Obviously, I can respect like high quality lyricism, but this is for me personally, right? I'd rather a song that sounds good to me. I'd rather listen to that than be dissecting somebody that's like overly lyrical. Like that's just my personal preference. Now, if I was younger and I didn't rap, somebody be like, well, that's because you don't know music. But you can't tell me that shit. A, I'm older. B, I rap better than everybody that you like. I know that for a fact. So now what you gonna tell me? Right now, you can't tell me shit. Right. It's like I did an interview with my homeboys a couple years ago. I never forget. And this part of the interview went viral. I said G Unit is my Wu-Tang. I prefer G Unit over Wu-Tang. Mm-hmm. I didn't say I didn't like Wu-Tang. I love Wu-Tang. I came up from that. But if you ask me right now, which one, if gun to my head, right, you got to choose. I'm listening to G Unit. Outside of 36 Chambers, me personally, I didn't really listen to I didn't listen to all the members. I listened to Raekwon and I listened to Method. ODB too, a little, here and there, like his popular songs, but I was a little too young for him. But like when I got older, like Raekwon was still making music, Method was still making music. I can't quote anybody else from Wu-Tang. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know any of their music. Lloyd Banks, I know all his shit. I know Tony Yayo shit. I know Young Buck shit. Obviously 50 Cent, that's my goat. I know all of his shit. Like that's just me. Same thing. I'm from Queens. I prefer Lost Boys over Mobb Deep. I know most people that love hip hop, they're gonna like, what? Because everything is Mobb Deep. Don't take anything away from them. They on the other side of Queens. I'm Lost Boys right up the block. That's Jamaica. So like, you know what I mean? So I like what I like, but it doesn't necessarily negate what other people like. I'm very eclectic, but I like what resonates with me. So it doesn't have to necessarily be, like overly intellectually stimulating. As long as like sonically I feel good and it's moving my spirit, like I'm good with that. And I like to make sure, listen, if I could sing, I wouldn't rap. I'm gonna say this straight. I would be a singer. I would sing different genres. I would do R&B. I would have to learn, how to write in Spanish, maybe do salsa. I would do calypso. So I would do all of that shit. I'm not gonna hold you. I can't sing. I tried. It's not for me. I'll be doing a little Ja Rule 50 Cent shit on my hooks, but that's not my thing. I gotta rap. Rap is my gift.
So what's some of your other influences?
When it comes to rap?
Yeah, I saw you had Jadakiss in there. I saw Stack Bundles on your bio. Anybody else?
Yeah, 50, of course, Cameron, Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper. They another group that I personally came up with.
Pause for a second. I gotta say something.
What's up?
When you said Lauryn Hill, when I was trying to think about you, I was like, you remind me, if I had to, I was like, man, if I had to tell somebody, I'd be like, yo, she remind me of like the updated Lauryn Hill to me. And it was, for real though, because like the when you're switching your tones, I don't like, I'm like, it reminds me of the Lauryn Hill and the technicalities that you have with the writing, the wordplay, the way you could switch, and all the ways you can go. So I just wanted to say I'm glad you said that because I thought that. So you kind of confirmed that for me. But yes,
I used to get that. I actually got a bar that says that. I said, I'm nothing like Lauren. Believe me, I'm still a dick. I will psychoanalyze you till suicide is your kick. Was always a smart cookie. I knew I wasn't shit since I was young. I made up songs about my mother being a bitch. I am that real. I own my truth like a transgender. I won't refute. I'm ugly cute like a master splinter. Get in the booth and get on stupid like the crack agenda. I have no publicists. They bougie like I can't defend her. It's all good. I'm coming into my glass slipper. I ain't a queen. I am Cinderella. Drew Barry's picture. I like to get very personal like I'm chatting with you. I want to show you there's worth in you when you can't remember. Yeah, Lauren was my girl, but she was very, I think she's a Gemini, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say that. I could be incorrect on that, but she's another one. And the Fugees in general, well, I don't necessarily know about Pros, but Wyclef, they studied actual music, so they study like instrumentation and all of that. Listen, I can't necessarily play instruments, but I used to study that because I was around that. I came up from that, so like I just have that natural knack.
Yeah, I think also you know, I do rap though. I'm a rapper too.
You look like a rapper. I'm not gonna hold you.
I'm a rapper. I'm a teacher too. I'm a teacher. I teach. So when we was talking about kids going back to school stuff, I was like, yeah. I go back to start teaching.
But gratitude, I thank you for you. Listen, I always salute teachers. Well, I know not every teacher's good, so a lot of them full of shit. But you know, I know for the most part, black teachers, y'all not you gonna hold it down. So just off of identity politics, I'm saluting you with that. What subject do you teach?
I teach TV, film, and music production on middle school, and then at nighttime on Monday and Wednesdays, I actually teach online at a university, at Monroe University. I teach hip hop, the origins of hip hop, and then this semester I'm teaching the art of poetry. Yeah, so this is kind of like spawned from me rapping all the way up into doing all this other stuff now. But yeah, so I wanted to know, we're gonna get into more of the writing, right? So how do you write? As far as, are you writing on paper, pen? Do you use a computer, phone, or you write in your head? How do you
whatever's available, because inspiration comes whenever it decides to come. So like obviously if it's one of those things where I know like I have to get like somebody like send me a beat, oh, can you get on this record? Right, and I have to get out, more than likely I'm on my phone because I'm playing the beat from my phone, and you know, so no matter what, even if I'm on a train, I could just put my headphones in and I could write and get that out the way. When it's my personal stuff, I like to be outside. I like to be outdoors. I like outdoor shit. So even like when I'm by myself, I ride my bike, go to the park, hang out, I bring bread, feed the ducks and all of that shit, and I just sit by the water. I swear to God, I'm like a hippie. You know, I perch in a tree and I'll just play music, and you know, and I'll do it in my head kind of thing. And then obviously when I get back, I'll write it down just because whatever. I got a lot of stuff in my head. I ain't gonna hold you. But then I'm very like sometimes things come to me like I'm like, oh, I could use that in a bar, and I'll just write it down. And like I don't know if you have an iPhone, but like on the iPhone you have like the notes app. So I literally so I have like just like lines, right, or even concepts or something. I'm like, oh, you know what, I think I want to like delve into that or touch on that. So sometimes I'll have that ready, but then like I might hear a beat and I'm like, you know what, I want to talk about like I'll go back to certain things. I'm like, yeah, this would be perfect for that beat. And then I'll just start off like whether it's the concept or it might just be something like, you know, I could start a bar off like that, a verse, and then from there stream of consciousness, whatever flows to me. So yeah, it really just depends. Or I could be, I'm not gonna, I could be cleaning, and then the same thing. I'm like, oh, you know what? Because I'm always rapping too. That's the thing. I love rap. Make no mistake. I always want money for listen, we are here. Money is a tool, and I understand my energy is, I'm a millionaire. Fuck out of here. Like I'm supposed to be, you know what I mean? The universe gave me some real gems to be self-sufficient in many other ways. I don't like to talk about what I'm working on. I'd rather just show and prove. So I like, you know, for me, if it looks like I'm not doing anything, like I just take that L. I'm like, damn, I can't be occupied with how I'm perceived, right? So even if it looks like I'm not doing shit, I know what I'm working on privately. So with that being said, with the writing, it's always like creativity. I could be in the shower and I could be thinking about when maybe I'm like, oh, you know, how do I market something for this? But then all of a sudden, like a bar will just come in my head, and then I'll just start rapping. I'll be rapping, but it'll be like, damn, like I need sales for my book, and you know what I mean. So it's like it gets me in that zone, and it sparks inspiration, so to speak. So Yeah, that's really what it is. I feel like everybody that comes from my era is the same. I think you just rap wherever I'm sure when you're in school teaching, if the students are not there and you might be grading papers, like bars might be, you might make a song out of that shit. Like you naturally inclined to make a song out of whatever it is you're doing, kind of thing. So that's really what it is. I'm fortunate. I'm very this is also a key. I know, listen, I talk a lot of esoteric stuff, but because it really is, I don't argue it down. Like if you don't have to, I'm not telling anybody to believe what I believe. I don't believe in anything. I either know or I don't know. That's one. So when it comes to the actual writing process or any artistic process, I understand that once again, I'm just a vessel for whatever it is. And as long as I take care of my vessel, like for real, like it's cold. I'm a little fluffier in the winter time, but when it's warm, I'm out there. I'm doing what I need to do, right? And I take care of my physical vessel. I take care of my emotional vessel. I do yoga, meditate, all of that stuff. And when I am at like my peak or my pinnacle, my physical pinnacle, I'm receptive to every fucking thing. Like I get my girl. I don't know if you're familiar with Ty Phoenix. She calls it the crown loads.
Oh yeah, I know Ty Phoenix.
Yeah, so like that notion, right? Or if you went to like the Akashic records, right? People talk about all that time where like you sit down and you able to pull from the ether, so to speak. So as long as I take care of my actual physiological vessel, I'm in tune. I get it. You know what I mean? I'm good. I could reach out to whatever it is I want to reach out. Even if I was like, fuck rap, fuck what I'm doing. I want to start something new. I guarantee you I'm going to be able to get messages from the other side and create and work on what I'm working on. So that's a gem. Like always stay in tune, because when you're not conscious of that, you're still in tune. So now when you're not conscious of that, other people are able to come in and program your subconscious as they do television, social media, music, your family, your friends, your employment. So yeah, I'm very vigilant about owning my mind, and because of that, I'm able to be very receptive to the other side, if that makes sense. I'm trying not to like people away.
No, I got a lot of questions. Okay, no, I got a lot of questions about writing, for real. So we're gonna get into all that.
You wordsmith, you probably could give me some tips.
So here we go. How about a chorus or verse first?
Verse. Okay. Verse. Unless, hold up, I'm not gonna hold you. When I definitely, because I'm like, I got max speed hooks too. That's one thing with me too. Like with certain, if I'm chilling and I hit and I like especially if it's a beat and I'm keeping it on repeat, and I might just be just like I might not put the words to it, but I'll just like a melody will come to me and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use that kind of melody, and then I'll do the verse first. But there's times where I have written the chorus first just because like maybe I'm with my homies or something and we smoking and I'm like, nah, and they're like, yo, nah, that's yeah, let's keep that kind of that's hard. But for the most part for me it's verse.
And then how long does it take to write a verse or a song?
It depends.
Do you make beats?
I wish, baby. I just but like I guess I know how to what's the term, executive produce, because I know
like you can produce, like tell somebody what you like and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, how long does it take to write a verse or a song?
It depends. Like me, if it's like if I'm inspired and it's something like I really want to talk about, like it's like that, because it's just coming to me. I'm not gonna hold you. There's definitely people that send me beats that I'm like, but I already told them, I was like, yeah, I'll work with you. And then when they send me the beat, I'm like, this is not saying I would have personally chose, so now it feels like schoolwork kind of thing.
I think that's for everybody though. We all go through that because a lot of times you're trying to help their vision come to life, and I had to realize that over time that even the beat you may send somebody, it may be the same reception because your vision is not the same vision of what they're doing for their. So you just muster it up and just be like, well, let me knock it out, So
So like, and it feels like homework for me when it comes to that. But that like it depends. Like usually like a week, but it also depends like what else I have on my plate. Especially like my niece lives with me and she's like, she's 5, so that that's priority first. So, but when I do have to, I'll say like a week for that. That's like when I'm not really inspired by it, when it feels like homework, like, damn, I got to do this shit. Cause then it's like, I'm like, cool. I'll write a verse today. And then sometimes the verse might not even come all the way. Cause I'm just like, I don't want to fucking do this. So maybe I might write like 8 bars one day. Then tomorrow, I'll force myself to write another 8 bars. Then the next day I'll write like the other verse. And then I might just come back at the end and do the hook, or I might record the 2 verses and then see if a hook comes to me kind of thing. So like yeah, I'll actually try to like break it down like project management, kind of like I'm at a fucking job. Like, okay, I'll do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But that's really just for when I'm not inspired. When it's like saying I love, like I can knock that shit out within an hour, 2 hours, or maybe a week, maybe a couple of days, so to speak. Yeah, it really just depends. But if it's just like a verse, like if it's just like we rapping, like you like, yo, let's rap, and I know, oh no, ASAP. You bugging.
Yeah, because I've learned, right? Because being that it's a business and we're in the business, a lot of times things you don't necessarily have your choice, right? Something might be due. There's a lot of things with this, right? So I try to get into this bag, as a writer and doing this. Sometimes you get, yo, I got money for you, but I need it by tomorrow. So you're gonna get it done regardless.
Yeah.
Then you got you might do something with like say a Coca-Cola and they're like, we need it by, in the next 3 days. So then, sometimes even your the way you do it isn't always what it is when the business, because the business deals with deadlines and timelines. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, that's true. I'll say this. I'm not gonna hold you. When it's like real money, like money,
right?
Yeah. Because I'm a hired shooter. Like, you can do it.
That's
how I feel about my pen. Like, but I know the value of my pen. And I've always, I'm gonna be 1,000% transparent with you. Like, I would never lowball myself. So a lot of this, I can't even count. And I also love rapping too. And I understand it is a, you know what I mean? Like I'd rather, my name is good in the streets. Like nobody gonna talk crazy about me regardless. Like I don't do bad business, but I've done a lot of things just off of GP just cause, right? But then when it comes now to like, when the money's involved and like a set, like I'm not lowballing myself. So if you coming to me and I'm like, nah, this is like, if you, I got people, right? Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily speak because I'm sure you deal with this shit, right? Like they were like, yo, I want to work. I need a verse. I need this, right? I'm like, but like, that's not how you fucking approach me, baby. Like you gotta like, peace. How are you doing? I would, like actually like treat it like a professional aspect. So, but there's people that they want that shit right. I'm like, I'm not giving you a fucking thing, right? But now then there's people that they come correct and they like, peace. What's your cash app? Like, yeah, you getting priority. Of course you getting fucking priority. Now I'm not gonna hold you. I tell people this, right? Hypothetically speak, if I was to, and this is not my price, but I'm just saying, if I was to say my price is 5,000, you know how many people are fuck out of here? I ain't paying that shit. Great. I don't, because now I don't have to fucking work with you. But like, you can't hear my pen and have the nerve to think that I would ever like, I know the type of money I should be making, but I'm not entitled. I'm not in my ego about things. I do know it's a business. I also know like, realistically speaking, there's no money in streaming. Like a lot of the money comes from like other, subsidiary, right? Subsidiary avenue from the actual music itself. And I pay attention. So I'm fortunate. Like my business acumen is top tier. I shut the fuck up and I'm like, okay. But I know it's going to come a point in time where like, and I'm working to that where like, nah, like I know you're going to be willing to pay that 5. Cause like what I'm gonna be able to do for your record. Even now, I'm not gonna hold you. Anytime I'm featuring on somebody's project, you know how like I don't know if you have Apple Music or Spotify, but like on Apple, they put like the little stars next to the most played song on whatever.
It's like it's great. It's a great data song.
I kid you not. Whatever projects I'm featuring on with other people, whatever song I'm on, that's the one that always has that. I don't brag about that. I don't have to post about that, but I observe it. I'm like, okay, yeah. And that's why people come to your pieces. I need you for this. I need you for, because they know whatever I'm on, that's going to make their project pop. And then a lot of them, they have like the independent route, so they sell merchandise and all of that. So like they making money off of me anyway. I don't want anything from that. I'm not like, I don't give a fuck. That's nothing like, cool. You got a verse for me. Like I tell people this, like it's like hustling, right? First hit is always free. Yeah. Because I know what I got, but you're going to come back. But then same thing. Those are the songs when they submit those projects to like the underground reviews and all of that stuff like that. Same thing. Whatever song I'm on, that's the one that always gets spent, played by.
I think I vouch for that because like me seeing, you do a verse on Punchline Academy and then like hearing other stuff, I vouch for like me hearing you. It's originality. So it was dope hearing something refreshing that made me go, oh wow, something original, something that's bar heavy, the lyrics are dope, the wordplay is original, the way that you're putting the lines together. Like I was watching the freestyle and you said something about apple tree. That was the last word to rhyme
Oh,
with
yeah.
apple, right? And I'm like,
The
wow,
narcissist
that's
shit.
dope,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
apple tree, and just thinking of, there's so many other things that you could have rhymed with the word before it, but you chose to put this phrase together and lead to the apple tree, is where when I discuss writing, that's the aspect of writing that people don't sometimes understand, that you chose something that you haven't heard said before.
Mhm.
Like, you know, like you've heard millions and thousands of rhymes, but you're sitting there coming up with something that you know is going to be original. So I think people don't really sometimes understand the talent there is in actually delving into the word choice. So
It's a
that's what I like.
a
That's what
craft.
I like
Yeah.
about you. That's what I love about listening to you, is the word choice. My favorite song that I heard is that Finale record. I played that joint over like 10 times. Like,
Thank you.
loved
Listen,
it.
Rap Obeah is one of not to cut you off, that
Oh
that
no.
project specifically, because I didn't really push it too much. And that's another thing. I don't be going hard with all of that stuff. But like, if it resonates with you, whoever's supposed to receive it, they're gonna find it. That's really how I push my stuff. I don't impose anything on anyone. I know it's a business, yes, and I understand things, but if you pay attention to even like my Instagram, I don't do things the way other artists do things, and I don't
Yeah.
knock how they do them. That's another reason I stand out, because like you could clearly say I don't give a fuck about that, like, because my I know what I possess. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, what's for me is for me. It's never gonna pass me. The only way I won't get what I'm supposed to have is if I don't do my part. As long as I do my
Right.
part, I'm always gonna receive everything. So even when it
Yeah,
comes to
I
like,
think the understanding too is that your path, everybody's path is different. So you gotta
it's
understand
different.
like your time frame and everybody's time frame. And once you
It's
get to
time.
understanding that, you'll be patient enough for when it's your time. I wanted to ask you also, do you care about punching in or going straight?
Straight through. Listen, say- listen. All right, I'm gonna say this, right?
Did you
Like
come
I
up
said,
in studios where this was a big issue?
listen. I don't knock any, but I'm not here to, right? To each his own, okay? But right.
Yeah.
I'm a real nigga. I'm gonna say this.
Let's go. Let's
Like I
go.
said, like I said before, when it comes to whatever I'm doing in life, I know there's always a business mind behind that, right? Like, I'm creative, but I understand, right, like what I possess, because a lot of people too, I'm not stupid. They see me as a commodity, and the way they try to align themselves with me, they think that I'm not privy. I see through all the illusions, right? So I said all of that to say, so even with that, so even though I love my money, I'm still, it's culture over money. It's culture over everything. It's hip hop over everything. I am a top tier MC. Okay. I
Back.
come from, like I said, when a motherfucker say, oh, you got bars, let me hear something, you gotta go. You gotta dump. All right. I come from the era of, and even now, if people that see me at a show, like if I'm performing, or even if a cipher, like if you can ask anybody, I be by myself running through all, like a fighter, like shadow boxing. So it's muscle memory. So when I'm recording, we going. I don't care if I'm rapping for 2 minutes straight. I have records where I rap for like I was on the Papoose train, right? Just fucking rapping, no punches. And if I fuck up, say I fuck up at like 1 minute 43 seconds, or I start from the top. That's how I'm started from the top. I'm one of those.
Wow.
People that have engineers, they be like, yo, you sure? Nope. No. Started from the top. If I ever punched in, I'm not gonna say I never did. It would have been, it's like everything is perfect, right? But it might have just been like one word, the way I said it, kind of thing, right? And then it's like, if I'm paying for, I'm like, damn, I gotta I'm not gonna pay for another fucking hour just for, then damn, I'm gonna punch in, right? But if it's one of those things like, I got the time, no, straight through. I don't do that. And I don't necessarily make fun of people that do it, but my homeboys that like that rap, I make fun of them. I'm like, you little bitch, you can't run that shit straight through. You ain't like me. You ain't no rapper. Like, fuck you. Cause like that, it's bragging rights too, right? Cause like I'm punching, right? What you hear, that's me. That's all me. You see me live. That's all, because you can't punch in when you rapping live, you can't punch in. So that's like, nah, we fuck out of here, straight through. Cause also too, I like I'm very, when I'm it's my emotion. I'm emoting also when I rap, right? It's emotion in action at this point. So now I'm giving you like what I feel. So punching in, it might not match the feel of like how I was going prior to that kind of thing. It might just be mental with me too. I don't know, because like Most people
Now
like, no,
I know, but we from that cloth though of being in the studio in which it was like, nah, you could do that straight through. People used to be in the studio saying like, nah, like some people didn't accept that depending on if you was working with somebody or producers, all that. So you kind of was in that mind frame. As I got older with it and doing other stuff, I kind of was like, well, if nobody could tell
it
once I
saves
put the
time.
record out,
It saves
but
time. It saves
yeah,
time. I get it. I get it. I
yeah,
get it. I'm not negating like the
I know what you're
efficiency.
saying.
Right? It's efficient. I
But
understand.
I'm from where you from with it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So I
old
get it.
school. It's like for me, and I know this is probably a horrible comparison, right? So like, especially like for people that punch right now, bitch, what the fuck you on coke? But it's like to me, it's like the equivalent. Like if I'm trying to like make weight, right? I'm gonna make weight the organic way. I'm not gonna, versus somebody like, or even lose weight, whatever, get in shape. But you go and you get you could get certain of the injections or surgeries and all
Right.
that. I don't knock it. It's efficient. I understand why rich women get their bodies done. They have the money to do it, right? If you a multi-millionaire, you're like, I don't give a fuck about it. I'm not spending time in the gym. I have money kind of thing, right? You got
Right.
the
I
money to
understand.
like to do it. I get it. It's efficient, right? Because you don't want to be in the gym. You want to be out there making your money work for you kind of thing. Okay, cool. I'm not a millionaire, financially speaking, right? Like I'm gonna be in that gym. I'm gonna be putting that work in because I feel good. It's for me, it's a confidence boost. I feel good about myself. Because now I could turn like, I did that. You ain't do that shit, right? And now I could talk. I could run my mouth. I like to talk shit. Boxing and rapping were like written in stone for me. Because even in that gym, I don't care if you fuck me up. I'ma still run my mouth. I'ma get hit. I'ma still like whatever. You still hit like a bitch, right? It's like,
So
so
what about writing? Or do you like writing in the studio or at home?
At home. If I'm going to the studio, I'm coming prepared so we can knock this shit out. Except there are moments where like you get the spontaneous call. Like I have my homie, like if we paying for studio time, come prepared because you're not wasting. I'm not wasting my money. If you want to waste your money, that's on you. Like because you got people be like, yo, nah, come. I'm like, yeah, but you could send right because then don't come digging in me. Don't come expecting me to dig in my fucking pocket, right? Because we done spent like however long we spent here running up out. Now I'm not doing that. Now if it's like, people got the studios in the crib, like, oh, come through, like one of those, that's fine. Because I do come from that school too, when you make organic records, right? Like when y'all just all hanging out and the producer making the beat on the spot and it's good energy and all of that stuff. Like I'm like
my next question.
But that I'll limit that. Everybody don't get that from me. I could count on one fucking hand the type of people that would get access to that from me. Because you got to understand, that's how I came up. That's how I started. I started with that atmosphere aspect. I was always the only woman, right? So I also used to deal with like, even certain bars I would hear the guys around. I'm like, yo, that shit, like you, like this. I'm a woman. I'm sitting right here. Like you have like, come on. So and I would have not arguments, but I would check people. But in the same token, I can't tell you how to create this. You are free to create however you want to create. I just have to be responsible for myself and how I feel. I'm like, it wasn't conducive to me as a woman. That's one. Two, when I was young, I was a very attractive young woman. So like, it was always ulterior motives. And like, I'm telling people, yo, come to the studio. But it's like, they want to make music, but they start asking you personal questions. And I was like, yo, like I came here to rap, my nigga. Like I ain't come here for all of that. And I'm not gonna hold it, especially if I'm coming from work, coming from out. So I look good, but I didn't look good to come to the studio. I just happened to, I'm here, but you gotta understand, people take things the wrong way. They read things incorrectly. Not people, men. I'm not trying to like men bash. This is my experience, right? So they, and I'm cool on that. Like I had a moment, I'm not gonna hold you. Like I stopped rapping. Well, I tried to stop rapping for like maybe when I was like 24, 25, like around that time. Because it was like I was always met with the same type of energy. And I was just like, yo, like if this is what it like I gotta be around this all the time to get to that, I'm cool. Like I'm cool on that. So with that being said, now like with the atmosphere, like when it's that, I gotta fuck with you as a fucking person. Cause it's not even limited to rap. Even from when I leave my house, I'm leaving my house to do is conduct business, so to speak. Right. Cool. This, these are my goals. I'm not going to hang out. When I hang out with people, that's me giving you my fucking energy, my personal fucking time that I could be spending with myself or with doing whatever it is I'm doing. So when I'm around that, I want to make sure I'm around people that are actually going to honor that resonate on the same frequency as me, that like, so when we come together, That's what it is. I don't care to be, even when I was in the studio, I wasn't with a big old entourage. I ain't have like a bunch of homies. I might have had like a homie here and there, somebody I really fuck with, and like, oh, I would, oh yeah, I'm going to the studio. You want to, you got to, yeah, come. Maybe get a little bottle, a little bud or something like that, and we just enjoying ourselves. Because we would have did that regardless if I was in the studio or not, right? But it just so happened maybe I had to go to the studio kind of thing. But yeah, I don't like giving people that kind of access to me because now we also dealing with kinetic energy, right? So now when I'm creating and I'm in that, I'm on a different fucking plane. I don't need everybody having access to what, I mean, it's a lot bigger than what we really understand, because on the surface, like I said, it just looks like one thing. It looks like we all here in the studio. You don't know the type of spirits that's like, because I also don't know what you got on you, right? I don't know if you take care of yourself. I don't know if you're energetically clean. You might be spiritually destitute, spiritually filthy. I don't fucking know that. So like, if you calling me to the studio and you my homie, but you got a million other people in here, I don't fucking know them. Like, I'm good on that.
Yeah,
so,
sometimes you got people, you come through and there's a whole bunch of people there and they don't know how to read the room of your vibe. You just there chilling and they come in with some negative vibe. You like, yeah, I'm just here to write the rhyme. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
What I do want to ask it to expound on it too.
Hold on, real quick. Pardon me. I will say this too, because for whoever's watching now, if you saying, baby, I got like, $250,000 for you, but you like, that's different. Like if you paying me like some adequate money, I'm willing to suck shit up, right? I'm still like a hard worker. I still like I put work in, and I'm still willing to do certain things, but it has to be worth my actual fucking time and energy. If not, because I could just be by myself and give you a masterpiece. Don't even have to be social, right? Especially now in the age of information, it is dope too, because a lot of times producers, they're not even necessarily in New York, right? So they might be in other states, and they could just send the files over, and we do stuff that way, which is we knock stuff out. It just so, but like I said, I am organic. I do come from that era, but at this point, I'm like, nah, you gotta be, come on, baby, you gotta pay Granny money, baby.
What about day and time? Does it matter in the morning time, nighttime when you write? What's the best time for you?
It doesn't matter. It's whenever.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm open to whenever. I'm a nocturnal person. I like the witching hours, like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's like my most creative. I think that's when all human beings are the most creative, which is why they want you sleeping during those hours, because they don't want you to be able to tap into certain things. But in the same token, like I said, daytime I could just be outside. It's summertime, like by the water, by the sun, in a tree, in a park. Yeah, as long as I'm by myself with nature, I'm good.
And then do you write to the beat, or you typically pop up with verses?
Nah, I write to the beat. The only time I'll do like a verse I have prepared, like sometimes going back to like when those beats that don't align with me, but I already was like, damn, I'm gonna do the record, and I'm like, I'm not inspired. Like if I ever have like writer's block, I'm gonna just pull out a verse. I'm gonna I have a million verses that I just write. So like,
oh, dope.
I could choose from, right? So it's not like I just have like one verse I'm trying to fit into this thing. I'll find what actually fits in accordance to that beat. That's usually when I'll do that. But for the most part, right to the beat.
And then what's your beat picking process like? Do you like 100 beats sent to you? How do you pick the beat? Do you have to have a certain sound?
It doesn't matter whether you send me one beat or you send me a pack. It just whatever resonates with me. I'm very it depends. Like I'm not like other, like I know some people just like the straight boom bap. I love boom bap, but I love music. Like I love good fucking music. I don't listen to the drill, like the rapping, but a lot of those beats are fucking fire. I could listen to the beat alone without the fucking verses on them shits. I actually too, and I did a drill record too. My homeboy, shout out to Ray Lute, shout out to Ray Rav, and shout out to SG Mello. He's a Ray Lute. He's a producer, a film director, and a film writer, a script writer out of Brooklyn. And he has a few series, and he used to plug my music in them. So he just did one that was on Amazon. It's called Book of Raven, and his son did a beat. So, like he sent me a couple beats, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna use the beat that your son made. Fuck out of here. But his son, he's young, it's like 20 something, right? But it was like a drill beat. It was one of them shoot 'em up kind of shits. But the way the actual concept of the show that he had, it did warrant that, like just from a woman's perspective. It was kind of dope. It was about a young woman that was sexually assaulted, and then she ended up getting revenge on her assailant, this kind of thing. So like I put myself in her shoe, like that. So I was, it went with it. but it works. But so I'm open to stuff like that if there's like a real concept that I could put behind it. If you just want me to jump on a drill beat for a verse and then you just talking about like shoot, like I don't shoot people, so I can't relate to what you
me
like.
neither.
But yeah, but I like, listen, I'm not gonna hold you. Like I'm working on my own personal like project. So a lot of the stuff that I've been doing the last few years have just been with other producers. So when I'm working with other producers, I really consider those projects.
How about you know what? I just was, you know, I had shared the finale record in my story, and Jamil Honesty saw it, and he was like, I worked with her on some, I did some beats or something.
Yeah,
for
we had
you.
a couple of joints. Yeah. He just put out, well, he's we put out one last year, and then he has another one. He's starting to rotate now. We did 2 records together. Yeah.
Okay, dope. Yeah, I was dope because I interviewed him too. Like he was actually one of the last interviews I had posted too. So so wow, when he said that he did work with you, I was like, oh, this is ill because I'm about to interview her. Right, so what's your revision process like? Do you keep everything, or you're like, nah, this ain't it?
At least now, the only thing I'll revise, maybe I like to, I'm a perfectionist. So I'm a Libra. So like I'm the scales, but we are, if you know anything about your zodiac, like we are perfectionists. So like, I just like to make sure that everything hits the beat correctly. So I might maybe have to take a word out, or maybe I have to change how I say a word, or, you know, like certain revisions like that. Cause I just want to make sure like it hits, but overall, like I don't, cause like I said, I already know what I want to say. I want to make sure you're going to know I can rap. We're going to talk about whatever the concept is of this record, but I'm going to make sure I put in wisdom. Like my number one purpose is to always make sure I put some kind of jewel in whatever it is I'm saying. Even if I'm saying the most outlandish, like whatever, it doesn't matter. There's going to be some kind of jewel that's in there, even if it's in the last bar. Like that's always my priority. Once I have that like mapped out, then everything else is just like, it's you know, listen, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I've been doing this for a long fucking time. All this shit is
your own horn. That's why I got you on here. Look, that's why I got you on here.
I'm gonna say this. A lot of the shit, it really does come easy to me. Like it's like okay. So like I say, all right, what's the saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I'm not even. I'm gifted. I'm gifted in this, and I work hard. Okay,
I can tell the bars.
You look at like a Floyd Mayweather and a Zab Judah. Both of them roll out of bed and could fight. Right, without training, without any the both of them, right? Zab had a natural raw, and I remember Zab from like image. He's natural raw. I mean, like just like he was the type of speed and power he had for his size, uncanny, right? Now you look at Floyd, same concept, but Floyd is he has a different kind of discipline, right? Floyd is a type of fighter, and people don't necessarily know this. When he used to do like club appearances, after that, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he don't do any of that, right? He would go do his appearances, and then he would run from the club to the gym, right? And then just go train. Like it's a different kind of discipline. So like whatever you see on the camera, that's one thing. When them cameras off, and I've seen Floyd train like in real life, he loves the craft of boxing. All of that other shit, that's just marketing and publicity, right? Outside of that, in the fucking gym, that man works like he's a hard fucking worker. So everything that you see in whatever, I'm not getting into that, but I'm just saying like what you see like him reap in terms of the monetary benefits of that, like he worked for that, right? I'm the same way. I'm not talented, babe. Because same thing, Floyd will tell you, like, I'm gifted. I'm a gift to boxing. He was. You don't have to like his style, but you can't deny what he did for his era of boxing, right? You don't have to say he's the best boxer, the greatest fight. He don't have to be in your top 5, top 10. I'm not here to argue that, but you can't deny what he did for his era of boxing, right? He showcased a different kind of boxing IQ when it comes to that, like just the chess aspect of it, right? I look at myself when it comes to rapping. I'm not gonna hold you, baby. It's raw gift. It's a raw gift to the point where, like, when I was younger, it was, like when how other people could see things in you before you could see it in yourself, so to speak. Like I always knew I was dope, but like other people, like, nah, like you could be doing, like if you was, and I'm like, nah, I'm cool on that. But like then I get around people. I
would also say me, and kind of in the world of what I do currently with from music and everything I do, I would say I noticed the same thing with what you rapping, and which it intrigued me to get the interview done, because I think I noticed the same thing in your style, the gift that you have with rapping.
It's a gift. Like I've always been like since I was a kid. Like if I was fretting about anything, first of all, my page is public. There's people that know me since Sandbox, people that know me from high school, people that know me from college, people that know me from boxing, people that know me from hustling. They all have access to my account. If I was fretting about anything, anybody could be under my post like, nah, she did whatever. You're never gonna see that my name is good in the streets because I'm not once in a lifetime. I'm once every few fucking lifetimes in terms of like my spirit. My spirit resonates with people first and foremost. So when it comes to the rap, like I always reference the money aspect of it because a lot of people that made money off of rap, I'm not here to take away hard. If we just talking about the actual talent and craft of rap, right? Did not deserve, right? And I use that term loosely because I can't necessarily identify what somebody deserves or doesn't deserve. I don't know your life, right? But if we just going off the culture, there's a lot of people now making, they made a lot of money that had no business making a lot of money versus the people. You look at Nas, look how long it took Nas to get the kind of recognition he's now getting. This is the type of shit that he should have been getting way, 20-some years ago, right?
Yeah, he just got a Grammy a few years ago.
Just now got it, but Nas is always one of my favorites. So like I would have you know what I mean? I had Nas above everybody, but even just from a monetary perspective, he never made, or at least back then, off of his music, what I think he should have been making. Not to say Jay-Z shouldn't have made what he made, but he should have easily been in the same category. Nas should have easily been making the actual money that Jay-Z was making. He didn't necessarily make it, but that doesn't negate Nas's actual gift and talent and all of that. So I do know that when it comes to rap and the money aspect, a lot of people that don't preserve the craft and preserve the culture, they at the top. And my point being, I'm gonna get back to the point. The point is just in terms of like my gift. Like I got $1 million gift. Like it's not one of those things I have to work at, but I do work hard at it. I'm not in my ego. You know what I mean? Like maybe when I was young, I might have been a little more in my ego, kind of like, now fuck out of here. Like I don't give a fuck if you send me the beat today. I'm gonna just get that, just and write it. Now I don't move like that. I'm like, nah, take this shit very seriously. Whether it looks like that or not, I can't account for that. I know what I possess and I'm able to put the hard work behind it. That's it. Because even if I didn't work hard, I'm gonna still out rap everybody. Just like, I say shit that is I'm like, wait, what the fuck did she say? Nah, that's okay. And then when I was younger too, same thing. Even dealing with men, a lot of men used to think other niggas wrote for me, right? Especially because I used to, I become and I'm pretty. I'm not gonna this. I'm not. I'll tell you off camera. I ain't gonna say this shit on the interview, but it's definitely like rappers that you probably know. They're like, yo, like, yeah, you dope, shorty, but yeah, whoever wrote that rhyme, whoever wrote that for you was like, yeah. I'm like, nah, like I wrote that shit myself. Like you fucking bugging. And that's another thing too. I had to learn. I learned this shit. Now I don't give a fuck because I didn't know that a lot of those women weren't writing their shit. Like I sincerely, on my fucking soul, I thought they was writing their shit because I also come from the time where, what you mean you don't write your own shit? You could never. That was what? That's a huge violation to not write your shit. Yeah. I didn't know that. I really believed everybody was writing their shit. So now, when I got older, I was like, oh, that's why I really rub people the wrong way because I really like, I'm the shit and they can't, but that's coming from her, from a woman. A man is not behind that. And now the men got to give me a different kind of respect because I'm coming the way you would come on a record kind of thing, right? Like a lot of men in general they can't fathom a woman being as smart as them or maybe even smarter in a certain given area. They underestimate intelligence. I kid you not, even good men. And it's not a shot at men, even in like relationships, they might underestimate, they might do certain things like, yeah, like my girl ain't gonna chip off of that. Not realizing she probably seen all of that. You have no idea all the shit she observed, but she just shutting the fuck up and she just waiting for her time. She waiting for the day that she could be like, the whole time you thought you was getting away with this, like, okay, oh, it's okay, baby. Now I love it. No. She, I mean, if she's smart, right? And they learn the hard way. A lot of those men, the good men, learn the hard way, right? It's always that's the one that got away because you couldn't get away with certain things you was getting away with.
But that point that you said led more into this question of what I was thinking to ask you too is the vulnerability you have with all the style and skills that you have that I've watched you rhyme about. What I thought was refreshing on listening to your music, you don't shy away from even rapping about relationship stuff. Yeah. And with some people, they'd be like, I had this discussion with somebody, even with me and Jamil. So I was like, one of the wild things is like, why in hip hop, to some extent, the relationship records don't get played. Like you make an ill relationship record, but I don't never see on the playlist the track, you know what I'm saying, or the DJs that be sending me stuff, especially on the underground level or whatever. They never playing the relationship joint. And you make some dope relationship joint.
Thank you. This is the gender aspect is always going to come up, not as a divisiveness, but just because it's different life experiences, right? And rap is male dominated, so we're going to have more of whatever the male life experience is for the most part. And generally speaking, you know, men like you guys, I'm good, right? You don't necessarily want to deal with the emotions. So now if we're talking about the relation, even within a relationship dynamic, that's usually the bulk of a woman's job, whether she's your girlfriend, your wife, your mother, your grandmother, is that emotional labor. Like people don't realize the amount of work that is until you either don't have access to it or you have no choice but to do it yourself. And that's when like people start, you know, whether they go to therapy and they realize, oh, because now you got to sit with the shit and really work through all of that. But that's because we all have masculine and feminine energy, right? We all compromise at the same thing. It's just that if you're born with a penis, right, you are the physical expression of masculine energy. You're born with a vagina, you physical expression of feminine energy, right? But so when it comes to rap, even think about when we're coming up. I'm from Queens, right? So you know LL. I love me some LL Cool J. I don't play about LL. Yeah, ladies love Cool J. That's a fact. But like he was probably the only, I'm not gonna say only, like for the most part, that like his love song, his relationship kind of songs actually did, because that was his brand, right? So that made sense. But I'm not gonna hold you. I always gravitated to like those kind of love songs when the rappers made them on their albums, even if that wasn't like the number one selling song on the radio. Like that was probably my favorite songs on whatever album. Case in point, Cameron had, I remember Daydreaming off of Come Home With Me. That's one of my favorite Cameron records ever. I think he made that about his baby mother. 50 on when G Unit did that. I want to get
about 21 Questions.
Yeah, 21. That's not even my favorite. That's a dope record. But I actually prefer the G Unit shit with Joe. I thought that I wanted, because 50's verse for me, and this is like, because I listen, I'm a writer, but I also listen to what you're saying. And he said, you don't gotta look like a model for me to adore you. All you gotta do is love me and be loyal. Fuck what happened in my past and it came before you. Like that shit. I was like, because you know that's like I love shit like that, because he's actually, and I also like 50's my goat. But you know, one thing about New York men, even like this, like they see the spirit of a woman. Sometimes you could come out your head like this, like, nah, shorty's cool, you having a bad day, I still love you, kind of thing. And so I always look for that. So I always, case in point, Wu-Tang, not gonna hold you, I never heard no fucking love songs from Wu-Tang. Not that they obligated to make love songs. You're not, without Method and Mary, I'll keep that one record, right? But like that was great. But outside of that, I never heard any love song. They're not obligated to do that. But for me, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a wife, like you've never been in a fucking relationship. But I also, you know, that's their lane. So when Drake came around, that's why a lot of people had issues with Drake, because he was doing all of that. My issue with Drake had nothing to do with his love songs. I just don't like people perpetuating, because that's not who you are. Like you just, whatever image that the people behind you telling you to push, that's what you're pushing. Because now he's like, you know, he's a thug, he's this, he's that. I was like, you was never talking like that before. But the actual the music itself, like I didn't necessarily have an issue with his music. He has a lot of dope melodic songs, I think, especially on those earlier mixtapes that he used to have. You know, but I think the reason he received a lot of that feedback was just because he was more in tune with his emotions. So fast forward, me as a woman, that's a unpaved road, right? So I'm like, yeah, I could really capitalize off that. But another thing with me is that I try to I had a point where I didn't, because I was always around men, I'm like, damn, I can't really be in my feelings. I got to show these niggas I could out rap them in every aspect, right? So it was like a lot of that when but I always wrote songs, like I always had love records, always. And then, but I just wouldn't necessarily share it with people. Like if you fuck with me, like you probably have access to it. But outside of that, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that just because, you know. But when I got older, and I was like, nah, this is how I feel. Like, I don't give a fuck how, you know, you rapping like that. I'm a fucking woman. I had this. And I'm also able to put it in a way that makes people have to think. I kid you not, swear on my fucking cunt. When I was young, I had a song. This is back, you remember MySpace used to have like the music shits. And I had a love song on my MySpace music page, right? And my ex-boyfriend at that time in my life, I guess he had come across it. What are you stalking me? He heard it. And then he actually reached out to me. He was like, oh, wow, like, you know, like, I'm sorry. I didn't know, like, I affected you that much. I was mad because I was like, you fucking entitled asshole. You think this shit it was about him, but I wasn't trying to give him that fucking credit and shit, right? But I was like, but I like the fact that the universe let me hit, like, let me see that reflection, right? That he heard it and he was like, oh damn, like, you know, fast forward now, he's married. I think he got 2 kids, if I'm not mistaken. Like he, you know, like he clearly he grew from certain things. So like, yeah, why wouldn't I share that experience? Especially because, like I said, I am a woman. There's a lot of women now that they I'm older. I just turned 40. So I feel like everybody's mother. I ain't gonna hold you. You could be 39, you still my baby at this point. So it's like, but you going through stuff that I already been through. So I'm able to share certain gems and wisdoms and you know, ideologies and things that maybe could help you. They might not necessarily, you might not necessarily be able to utilize everything I'm saying, but at least, you know, I mean, even if it's for a moment, I could put you in a feeling of, okay, yeah, I could relate to this. This is something I've been through, kind of thing.
I think that's why I wanted to mention it, because I listened to a lot of your music, and I was like, the perception of the verses that go viral aren't that side of you.
Yeah. Because I gotta walk both lines. Like I said,
because online, you know, people ain't caring about those verses. They want to hear you chopping heads off.
Can you rap?
Yeah,
but I also on my personal post, I do like, because I post like this is what I'm saying. Like all of this that you're seeing now is something I planned. Like I already got it. I said it's just a matter of time. Preparation meets opportunity. It's a matter of time before something hits. Once something hits and I have that, now I could be like, because you already know I could do that. You know I could do that. That's nothing. That's second nature. I could roll out of bed right now and out rap whoever you put in front of me. I don't give a fuck who they are, from Jay-Z to Kendrick to your local. That and I'm that confident within myself. That's nothing. But I want you to see it's more than that. Like that is kind of like I said, I package my dope. That's the packaging. And then when you open up the packaging, is this is all the wisdom, all the gems, because I can't count how many women actually have over the years have reached out to me like, yo, you know, I heard this song. I listen to this song all the time. Like I was going through it. And that means more to me than anything. It means more to me than money will ever be able to showcase. Just like, and it's not limited to women too. I've had men come and reach out to me like, yo, you make me rethink how I have to view women. You make me rethink certain things I might have done. I didn't even, you know, catch myself. I was in my ego when I did this. Like, nah, I just wanted to reach out and let you know that, like, yeah, like I'm listening. You speak into my spirit. And somebody even said, they said, you know what? Moving one spirit is worth more than moving a crowd. And when I said, wow, like that shit really resonated with me, because it just, once again, it's the universe reflecting back to me like, yo, you doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because anytime I write, I swear to God, it's what I feel intuitively. Like I'm not gonna say it or do it if it's not compatible with me. I talk a lot of shit, but I could fight. I'm not in the street fighting. I'm just saying. So like if somebody's like, well, bitch, you said, like, okay, so hit me. I ain't gonna hit you first, but hit me. I'm gonna defend myself. Right?
Oh my goodness.
But like, because I
know what you said.
That's another reason, like a lot of rappers, I'm not gonna disrespect them, but I can't take you seriously when you're talking to certain, because I'm like, I know you. I used to have homeboys rapping about trapping. I'm like, you bought drugs off my best friend. You're his customer, but I ain't gonna, you know, cool. You rapping, but I'm like, but that's not you. And versus, you know, I hustle. Like, you know, I'm really, and I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. Like
I want to delve into speaking, because what you're saying about representing you and speaking of like storytelling at the same time, I want to bounce off of that into their products. Like you got the Gator Salve, right? And then also Gator Salve, sorry. And you also have the book though. Can you elaborate on the book and like, you know?
It just goes into what you, so Ask the Alligator, right? I think this came out in like 2021 during the pandemic. I've wanted to write a book for like a long fucking time. And I have so many different, my end-all goal, I would love to write like a philosophy book that they use in colleges or something. I'm sure they would never put my shit in the academic system, but you know, I have high hopes. But
can you show the cover again?
Oh.
Dope.
Ask the Alligator. And it's pretty it's a pretty short read. So essentially it's really just quotes of mine. And then I explain the quotes. So essentially, like I said, I wanted to write a book for the longest. I wasn't just, but you know, when you're creative and you want to do things, it's hard to ground yourself until like that one aha kind of hits. And I think one night I was like, damn, I should do like a advice book. Cause I always like, when I was on Facebook, I used to like have statuses and people like, yo, like your statuses are like funny as and my shit I wasn't trying to be funny. I'm just like being my fucking self. Cause anybody that's around me knows like, I'll say random shit, but it's the truth, but it's humorous kind of thing. But it's relating to like my life experience. And like that seed was planted in my head too. Like, oh, you should make like a book with these fucking statuses and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. Right. And when I used to be in the gym, I'd be in the locker room, a lot of the young girls, like, women's locker room is listen, I don't know about the men's locker room. Yeah, I have nothing on the women's locker room. We are, yeah, the amount of the vulgarness is different. It's different. But I would be giving these young girls some gems, and I'm like, wow, they really paying attention to me. So I'm like, so why should I limit my gems to just people that know me? I should give it to the world, kind of thing. So that's when I was like, cool, that's how I'm gonna do the book. I'm gonna write a quote and then explain, you know, maybe what the meaning behind the quote is. Also, I got the inspiration. Bruce Lee, that's my GOAT, and he wrote a book called Striking Thoughts, and that was the format. And the reason I like that format is because you could run right through it. It doesn't feel like you're reading a lengthy book. I like to read, but I know everybody doesn't like to read, so I wanted to make this palatable for the people that don't necessarily want to sit down and read. Right? It's so quick. You could be on a train and read that.
What about have you done an audio book version of it?
I'm actually wrapping that up too. Yeah. That's coming. Okay, I'm wrapping that up because I wanted to. I actually had made like an album. I had songs that I had reserved like since like I want to say 2018. But since a lot of time has passed, I might swap out whatever song. I might just, you know, like I might have to like revise, I guess, the songs I want to put on the album. But so with the book, real quick, I'm not gonna hold you. Like when I put it out during the pandemic. And I'm stupid. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I'm full of shit. I'm very funny, but for whatever reason, people they took to it and they read it and it was like, oh nah, this shit is and it's kind of like it took on a life of its own. So and I wrote it primarily with women in mind, but they're definitely like there's a lot of gems that everybody could use because when I'll send you the PDF so you can see for yourself. It's all over the place. Like there's chapters that are like hilarious because it makes no fucking sense, and then within those chapters is also like gems. So I kind of like
where can people get it?
It's so I have the link directly on my thing because you got to get it directly from the distributor site. But
okay, I'll post that in the description and the comments and everybody down below, so everybody you'll be down there the links to the book as well. But yeah, keep building on the book because I like hearing what you're saying. I wrote a book in a similar fashion. That's why.
Oh yeah. Oh no, so then we definitely have to we don't have to chop it up off the record. But yeah, so like I'm gonna just do like this, right? Wherever I stop, bunk. Chapter 29. Never be an emotional whore. And then I go into talking about seriously, listen, if you are an adult human, you are not exempt from feeling horny. Have sex. You do not need to be in a relationship. Don't have sex if you genuinely don't care for casual affairs. But if the reason you avoid casual sex is due to societal conditioning, cut that shit out. If you are a responsible adult that makes decent decisions for your life, you can surely choose suitable sexual partners while dating to find your special someone. Maintain your privacy and enjoy life's journey. So, you know what I mean? It's like, it's some real life shit. Hold up. 24.
Yeah, I like the fact that the way it sounds to me is it's not judgmental. It's responsible.
Be accountable for yourself, right? But like I said, if that's not something, if you're not, then don't do it. Like I'm not, you're right. We have a era that's being pushed of like sexual liberation and all of that. Do I believe in sexual liberation? To an extent. If that's who you are, because there's a lot of women that they're heavily in their masculine energy. They just happen to be women in this lifetime, but they could have been men in how many past lives we don't fucking know, right? And that's why they showing up in this lifetime heavily in that. I'm not gonna knock you. If a woman is promiscuous because she wants to be promiscuous, that's just how she moving, I don't judge you. Now, if you're promiscuous, 9 times out of 10, it's a result, whether it's the daddy issues, sexual trauma, so now you're trying to basically regain like your power back. That's not a healthy reason to be promiscuous, right? Because you're not being promiscuous because you want to have sex. It's a subconscious conditioning that you're looking to fill some void and compensate for something that you need to deal with on an emotional level, right? Like I'm very adamant about that. There's different reasons behind like why you're doing what you're doing, right? So the woman that's like, if you a 30-year-old woman, right? I'm not going to judge you versus like you a 21-year-old. You have no business being hypersexually active at 21, right? You still a baby. The reason that you are hyper right with that is because of some kind of trauma that you're trying to overcompensate for. Once you process and deal with all your shit and you are healthy and you're like, nah, I just want to fuck. Think about how many old people, that's their life, right? They single, they bachelors, bachelorettes, but then they go, they have their little, their little rendezvous, their little lovers, they whatever. They fine with that, right? Because it's like they've already dealt with their emotions. They probably decided I don't want to be married or in a relationship. This is how my life works, and this is what works for me.
And that's kind of what the book is kind of about. Just giving these gems of living life, living your life, and being you.
but also like make sure you processing your emotions and your feelings. And that's the key to it, because a lot of, you got to remember, like our conscious behavior is a result of subconscious programming. So if you're not in charge of what was programmed into your fucking mental computer, you're never going to be in charge of your life. You might think you're in charge of your life, but you don't even know the reason why behind why you're making certain decisions. It could just be because this is how you were raised, or this is what you were taught. You got to really delve into that. I know a lot of people don't want to do that work. I get it. We have a system that capitalizes off the fact that you don't want to do that work, right? I could get online and rant about the system all day long, or I could fight it in my own way, right? So cool, I'm a creator. I know how to create, and I know I'm influential and people listen to me. So now, cool, how can I give them information that's going to benefit them when I know we live in a world that's trying to, like, you know, keep this shit calcified? I don't want to do that. Look, here we go. Chapter 30, refrain from comparative struggling, right? I go through random shit. And then I'm going to tell you, chapter 19, there are no accidents in the universe. Remember that. You can either be a mover or a pawn, a causer or an effect. The show will always go on regardless of you. The universe adheres to a set of principles. You can either use them to design your life or be used by them and have a life designed for you. It's basically what I was just saying, kind of thing. So yeah, it's all over the place, but it really is, like men read it and men love it, and they give it to like their wives or their, you know, women in their life.
I think it sounds like it gives some good life lessons, some good life lessons for what I hear.
Yeah. So, and there's definitely a lot of, like I said, this, and not to cut you off real quick, there's esoteric stuff in there too that I touch on. I got to be very strategic with how I package it. So I like to package things with like the raunchiness, the vulgar, the shock value, or like maybe a little bit of intense aggression. Because that way you're not going to necessarily know that I'm about to hit you with all of these fucking gems. I'm every time you hear me rap, I guarantee I'm planting something in your subconscious you ain't even realize I did. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to basically reverse all the shit they did. They pumping poison left and right. I can't stop them from pumping poison. They got the money to do that shit. All I can do is, you know, pump you organic products like Gator Salve, which is a cannabis body topical for aches and pains. It consists of cannabis, coconut oil, candelilla wax, which is wax from a plant, not from bees, lavender, and grapeseed oil. So anything you would use like Bengay or Tiger Balm for, you could use this. And because it's a topical, it goes onto your skin. It doesn't go into your blood. So if you get tested at work, or if you get tested for a PO, whatever the case may be, it's not going to show up. Arthritis, sciatica, menstrual pains, womb discomfort. I've had somebody use it for scoliosis, migraines, just muscle inflammation, muscle fatigue. I had somebody use it for the eczema. She said it works great on her skin. And I'm getting a couple of people told me they use it on their dogs. I'm not leading with that. But they said it works. There's a few other ailments too that I've gotten feedback for, but I got to get more people in that with, you know, those ailments and do like a little test group before I leave with that. But overall, it really is. I mean, it's THE is weed. Like we really, you know, that's the God plan at the end of the day. So yeah, and it's reasonable. It's great for old people. I'm working on, senior citizens get a discount. Eventually, like down the line, I would love to like just like not even charge them. Like old people are, we got to take care of them. We really don't do enough for old people. You know, that's a whole other conversation. But whatever I could do to you know, to kind of help the collective, that's really what it is. Like my ultimate goal is always to help people, but realistically speaking, you know, like if you're a man with a good heart, you know what it is when you have a good heart, but you can't necessarily show certain things, right? Because people do want, you know, they take that as weakness, and they, you know, they be on their bullshit. I know who I am. I know what I possess. Like in my last punchline shit, I said, I don't have to prove my light. I just protect it. I meant that shit. I don't give a fuck what people think about me. I know I'm a light bearer. I know I show up bright and just. All you gotta do is bring me around your grandmother. Grandmothers love me. That's the litmus test, right? Bring me around old people. They all fucking love me. Your grandmother gonna be like, ooh, baby, bring that girl around again. They love me. They love me, baby. So that's all I can say.
For people that don't know you, what are 3 pieces of your work you suggest they check out? Like album wise, song wise, freestyle wise, 3 things you think they should check out.
I'm gonna go with my first full-length project, The Girl with the Alligator Tattoo. I'm gonna go with Rap Obeah because there's a lot of gems in there. And then another it's one of my Gator joints. I would say Winter Gator. That was an EP I did like a few years back. I had some of my joints on there. My favorite, if I'm gonna tell you my favorite record, I'm not gonna hold you. It's a lot of them stuff that I haven't put out. But as far as what's on a platform, I would say crazy. All right. So one of my favorite verses is not on my record, is on my boy
Okay.
Doze the Drum Dealer. It's on one of his projects. It was a song called Favors. And he just let me, I don't even know how many bars I wrote, but he just let me just go off at the end of the record.
I gotta go check that
But
out.
it's one of my favorite verses, because when you hear it, you be like, oh yeah, because it's just like I put myself in that. But as far as my favorite song, let me think. There's so many. I think I would say, damn, because I want to say a song that's not out, and I'm getting ready to put it out, so I don't want to push that. I would probably say there's a song on the girl with the alligator tattoos called Pimpin'. That might be my favorite. It's called Pimpin',
Okay.
but it's not about like, pimping hoes. It's actually about how the government and the credit system, all of that should be pimping us, essentially. So everybody's pimping. So it's like a different take on what pimping really is. And don't let nobody pimp your mind, essentially. It's all, mind science. But the favors joint, I could close it out, but I said, don't do me no favors. I gotta, I'm good without paper. Sort of like a pimp, but I own the whole stable. Every time what is it? Sort of like a pimp, but I own the whole stable. Every time I spit, when I they throw flames up. Some shit. All right, I can't remember all of it, but yeah, that's one of my. I run through it. And I even, because I touched on like a little sexual assault bar there. I think that's when I opened up about something. I don't open up about everything. Like, and there's a lot of stuff I look forward to rapping about down the line. Y'all barely getting like the surface of it. And I'm slowly but surely processing certain things I've experienced in life that I'm able to actually rap about from a logical way, as opposed to like from an emotional standpoint. You know what I mean? Because I've processed things. But yeah, it's one of those kind of records where I'm from start to finish. You be like, okay, she's different. But it's like my story within like the 24 bars or 32 bars, however many he gave me.
I also want to mention the joint Dirty Ears. I want to mention Dirty Ears. That joint just got released, if I recall, for November came out.
Yeah. So technically, this record right here, and it was another record I released the same day, I think, Donuts, they were actually out a few years ago. But the producer had released it, but I think his account or something had gotten, I don't know, something happened to his account, so they removed it off of the platform. So I only just now got the go ahead from him that I could release it on my joint. So it says 2025, but I think we put them out in like 2021, 2022 or something like that. Okay, yeah, that's my shit.
It got the essence of that boom bap essence in it. And it's you always rapping, you always say something dope in it. So what's your social media, so everybody can find you and buys the salve and everything, the books and everything? Give it to social media.
So Alligator_Alfred, that's my main account. I have the Ask the Alligator account for my book, and then I'm starting to push my other page, Gator for Hire. That's also on Instagram for my Gator Salve. Ideally, you could reach me on my main account and we could do business there. I'm not on. I think I'm on Twitter. I jump on Twitter like once a year.
Yeah, me too. I ain't on that too heavy.
That's not my thing. And the only reason I have one is my boy. I don't know if you're familiar with Rim, the villain from Brownsville, but he was like, no, you got to make a, so I made it just so he could tag me when he posts shit and he'll tag me on it. I'm like, okay, I'm not on it. I don't do Facebook. I'm not gonna hold you. I only have this shit because I know you need some kind of social media at this point going forward in order to push whatever it is you push, and even outside of music, like just any kind of business and stuff like that. But outside of that,
I got a whiff of you from YouTube and Instagram. So those are kind of the main joints, especially your Instagram. I'm always looking for something you post on there.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really where I do the bulk, because that's like, it's easy. As long as somebody reposts stuff, like people could just come and find me from there. And then like I look at it like this. People will pay attention because it seems like I'm doing something, right? They're like, oh, okay, she here, okay, like, but they're not really paying attention, right? If that makes, they just like paying attention to what they seen on the outside. I only respond and resonate with the people that I know that you might hear one thing and then you go through the rest of it and then you see exactly what I possess and you give it up. Because then I'm like, because I put a lot of work. Listen, you a writer, it's a craft, right? So when you do write, the work that, right, you're not doing what the average person is doing, the type of mental capacity it takes to do what you're doing, right? The average person is not taking the time to do that, nor do they have that ability to do that per se. But it's more so just taking the time out of your life. And you might not even people might not even read what you writing, right? So essentially you might just be writing for yourself, but like you still putting the same time into writing for yourself that you would put for like if you got hired to write for like a magazine or this or that, right? Or some kind of, you know, big money thing. I think as if you're a real writer, you're gonna give the same quality, right, to somebody else's stuff that you would give even if nobody else fuck with your shit. And a lot of people don't realize that, especially when if you really rap for the culture, most people are not seeing what you really putting out there, right? It's really other MCs that'll be able to you know, pay attention and catch what you're doing. But the average listener, they might just hear like a punchline, oh, that was hard, right? But they not able to break down the actual scheme of what you're doing. So same thing.
Yeah.
Even like
the
when I
internal
read
rhyme
books,
schemes and all that other stuff.
yeah, they can't catch it, but it shouldn't stop you from doing it. If you really love what you're doing and you really a master what you're doing, the outside perception is not going to stop. Whether you receive praise or not, it's not going to dictate what you're doing. And so like it always does feel good to be recognized, I guess, or seen by like someone else that is on that same frequency because they doing it too, right? And it's a lot that goes into it. So even if you just see an Instagram post, like you don't know, like you might not know the dark space I might have to go through to write some of these fucking verses. That's another thing too, because I got so many, people reach out to, especially women, and they're like, oh, I got like sexual assault records like on deck for real. Like, cause that's a real fucking issue. That's a, you know, what's the ratio? I think they say 1 in 3 women have been assaulted in some way, which means every 3 women that you know, at least one of them experience some kind of trauma. That's some real shit. And so like, you know, like I take time to really curate that. But even when I curate stuff like that, you don't know the space I have to go to, right? Because now mentally I might have to put myself back in a space that I might have like completely like forgot about or suppressed in my mental, right? And then when I start going there, like even after I finish rapping, I might still have to deal with like residual emotions from going back to that kind of memory or that kind of experience. So same thing when you're writing, right? People don't know what you might have to actually pull out of yourself to get onto the paper or, you know, your computer, however you write. And I don't know if you're writing on paper. I'm assuming you probably write on your laptop if you're doing a book or stuff like that. You know, it's a lot. And that energetic component that's beside it, like people they're not seeing that, you know what I mean? But I see it. So, and I always appreciate it. So I hope I make sense. I know I'm always rambling. So pardon me.
Listen, let me tell you, and for those that don't know, I was so excited to do the interview. I was sitting here yesterday morning on Saturday thinking it was Sunday. I was here so hyped to do the interview.
I was like, damn, I fucked up again.
Nah, and I was messed up, y'all. I had the wrong day and time, but I was so hyped. I sat here, I'm chilling. I was like, I'm gonna wait, you know. So I really appreciate you being on here. I really appreciate what you contribute to the game. It excites me to write. It excites everybody else to listen and write as well. And to delve deeper, I think, into just understanding what hip hop is about and having a message in hip hop is about as well. So, you know, this is when I'm going to let everybody know the links are going to be in the description if you want to, you know, find Aida anywhere. And like I always say, thank you once again, Aida, on being on the show. And like to everybody out there, what are your words worth? Peace, y'all.
Thank you. Let me give you credit before you cut it off. Hold on. I just want to give this man who's a dope interviewer. I like how you lined up, because you're a writer. You lined up your punches in terms of the questions, and you knew exactly how to it was kind of like everything flowed cohesively. I appreciate that. But I like that, like you're insightful. That's the term I want to use for you. Your questions were very like they aim to provide insight for the artist, and I appreciate that. Like you didn't ask the same questions that everybody else asked. I think that's what, but you also a writer, so hey, cut that out. So yeah, let me just give you your stuff, like your flowers.
Yeah, it's all about the process and understanding what it takes to do it. So we're gonna catch up with y'all. Make sure y'all go get the Gator Salve and Ask the Alligator, right, and everything out there. And we catch y'all later. Peace, y'all. Let me just end. What up, y'all? Thanks for always watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button. A lot of y'all leave comments, which are dope, and I appreciate that. Just go back, hit that like and subscribe so the algorithms can, you know, send this out to everybody else that's into what we into. Peace.